I personally want to apologize for all the confusion in the last couple of days with the sessions. That's my fault. Been a while, but we'll make sure everything's good to go for next round. So we'll kind of run through some things here real quick, and we'll kind of get going from there and answer some last minute questions that we may have. Give me 1 second here. All right, so first things first, qualifying. Just for qualifying, 15 minutes each class. GT cars or GT classes are going to be split. It's going to be P1s first, then P2s, GT Pro, GT Am. If you're on a flying lap when checkered flag comes out, you can finish it. You just can't start another one. When it is 1 minute left until your qualifying starts, for P2s and then GT classes, you can line up at the end of pit road, preferably in a single file line on the left-hand side. You know, you got 15 minutes, so you don't have to be very quick or crazy about it. But you can do that, and then once the green flag flies, go ahead and you can drive out on track. One thing I will ask, please make sure that you have the InSim chat and iRacing turned on, because we will be using it for safety cars and for any emergency messages. Questions for qualifying? Awesome.
Actually, I actually have a question.
Yeah.
If we get blocked or otherwise, you know, impeded in qualifying, do we just use the incident report form as usual?
You can. I'm going to be completely honest with you, unless it's something completely flagrant and way out there, we'll note it, but we're not really going to be doing much about it. The biggest thing that we're going to ask everybody is, if you wouldn't want to have it done to you, don't do it to somebody else. Plain and simple. If we feel that you're doing it on purpose, we will give you a penalty. But yes, you can just use the incident report form for that one.
I have a question about qualifying as well.
Yeah.
I assume that we can just warp straight back to the pits. We don't have to tow and get permission and stuff.
You can use the magical warp button to get back to the pits.
Cool.
So on to that, for incident reporting, the biggest thing that we want people to make sure of is, when you send in a report, you want your team name, you want your lap number, and the timestamp. The timestamp that we want is in the UI in the sim, on the very bottom where you have the replay controls, the wrench and the hammer on the right. If you click on that, it'll bring up the current time. Right now for me, I'm live, and it's 24 minutes and 12, 13, 14 seconds. That's the time that we want of the incident. Does it have to be exactly at the incident? No, it can be within a couple seconds before the incident if you need to. But that's what we're looking for. And we only need the hour and the minute. Don't worry about the second. Next thing, requesting for tows. Remember, please request for tows, but please do it via Discord, and do not send PMs in Discord to myself or to Ed, since we'll be driving. And for myself, I have VR, so if you send it to me, I won't see it until I get out of the car. Best thing you can do is in the paddock channel, or even in the Silverstone round 1 Silverstone thread, just mention at organizers or at race control in there, and then that way either Ed, myself, and Tom, who also is going to be in here helping us out, will get that to pop up on their screen, and they'll be able to see it, and then we'll be able to throw it from there. When the full course caution comes out, you guys can, if the caution is out, you can tow at will. You don't have to get requests from it. So as long as the full course caution's out, you can tow. No need to get requests. The authorized towing place, if you go to the 195 car, he's parked right around where the authorized towing place is going to be. So there's only one for this race. It's on the outside of turn 10, right at that hole in the wall right before the Vodafone sign. So when you're there, if you can, just try to get as close to the wall as possible. That way you're not kind of in the line. I think where Ed is parked right now would be kind of sketchy, in case if somebody has to dive out there for making a crazy pass or avoiding something. So if you can just try to get as close to that wall as you could, that'd be very much appreciative. Any questions on towing or authorized towing places or anything like that?
Yeah, sorry.
You go first.
Cheers, mate. When you said when under full caution, you don't need permission to tow. Do you still need to go to the towing zone? Sorry.
No.
Okay.
When the caution is out, you can tow when you want. Don't need to go to the towing zone. The only thing we ask is, because there's a couple second delay from when the car is stopped to when you actually move off, is just make sure you're off out of the way and not in the way of other people and impeding people. Any other questions you got?
Yes,
on
please.
Towing? Yes.
So just to make it 100% clear, if we were to crash, we should request by text in the Round 1 Silverstone chats on Discord, right?
Either that or in the paddock channel. So in the paddock channel, I'll do it actually in the Round 1 Silverstone, so that way you have it there. All you need to do is go either at organizers and then your message, or at actually you can't do race control, but yeah, so just do at organizers like that, and then just do car, just do that, car whatever needs a tow.
Okay,
and
so yeah, last year we went to the waiting room in race control, so this time it's chat.
Either way
Okay.
works. If you want to do the waiting room, go for it. That's fine, because you get us right away as long as somebody's in there. Usually we will be. If you can't, because some people's verbal English isn't the greatest because they're in other countries and that's their second language, then just do it via text. That works too. Either way, it's just do not do it in the sim, because I can guarantee you we'll miss it. So just don't do it in sim.
And
Good
silly
thing.
question, you have to wait until you say, yeah, it's good to tow before we do so?
Or until the caution comes out. Once the full course caution's out, you can tow at will. No issues there.
Cool, thanks.
When
Okay.
is the speed limit when the restarts and the starts? Is it the whole track around, or is it just in the go zone? You need to keep the speed.
So when the caution comes out, we want you to, and we'll go into the cautions now, which is good. When the caution comes out, we want you to drive as fast but as safely as possible. So it doesn't mean you need to 100% push, but be driving as fast as you can to catch the pacing field. Make sure that you're aware of where the pacing field is, though, with your relative and everything like that. So as soon as the caution comes out, it's not like saying, boom, hit the speed or anything like that. Make sure you catch the pacing field as quickly as you can. The restart speed, it's basically the pace car speed until the acceleration zone hits. But once the green flag flies, please get up to racing speed. So because it's a 60 car field, is a single file line. If you're back in turn 14, turn 15, when the pace car or when the green flag flies after a restart, accelerate and get up to racing speed. The acceleration zone is for those who are leading the field to the green flag. They don't want to accelerate until they reach that point. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I think about this limit in speed, 86 kilometer to 94, or what is it? How hard will you judge that?
Just stay pretty close to it. I mean, obviously we don't want to go crazy over, but we don't want it, I mean, we'll give it a little bit of wiggle room, but just do what you can just to stay close to it.
Okay.
The other thing, real quick, for whoever gets it, the GT entries. If you guys look at car 274, that is a pit stall. So it's very easy to miss. But if you're there, just be aware it could be literally right after that little hospitality area on pit lane. So if you're in that area, it's probably going to be a GT team just saying, hey guys, just watch out, it might be coming quick. Back to the full course cautions. That's kind of what it is. That's what we have. Wave bys are going to be done on driver's left. P1 entries, I want all the P1 drivers, hopefully you're all in here or listening. Once if you're the leader, as soon as you're starting to approach the finish line, when the first time that the caution period comes out, start slowing down. We don't want you to just blow past the pace car. The pace car, if you're going full speed through turn 1, you're going to blow past the pace car. Just start slowing down once you get to the start finish line on the first lap of the caution to catch the pace car, so that way you're getting down towards pace car speed so you don't blow past them. Any other questions on caution period before I give you one more thing?
I just wanted to confirm that after a portion on green flag, you are not allowed to pass before the white line, the passing line.
Correct. So once the green flag flies, just for safety and to try to get the race going again, no passing until after the final corner, which is turn 16, the hairpin. It's just, you know, it's a caution. We just want to get the race going again. There's no need to be overly crazy. The other thing with the caution period is we will ask, we will mention when pit lane is open and when pit lane is closed, and when pit exit is open and when pit exit is closed. So every lap. But once pit lane opens up and once we say pit lane is open, it's open for the rest of the pit lane, or for the rest of the caution period. No questions there.
That's open going in, not open
Correct.
going out for the rest of it. Yep.
Yeah, as soon as pit lane is open to go in, it's open for the rest of the caution period. No questions asked. Doesn't matter how long or how short it is. And remember, the first time you come around, pit lane will say that pit lane is open. iRacing will say pit lane is open, but it is not open. That's more of us making sure that we get everyone where we need to be before the pit stop cycle starts. Is it too much for you?
With the, if you're leader of the class if you're not PE1, so we just stay behind the pace car, even if it is telling us to go round.
On the first lap, when the caution initially comes out, catch the pacing field. So on the first lap, do what iRacing is telling you to do. Once you have caught the pacing field, which will be roughly on the first lap, then if you're the leader of your class, so P1, P2, GT Pro, GTM, if you're the leader in your class, you should never at any point pass the pace car after you've caught the pacing field.
iRacing should be able to do that, so.
Yeah, so Ben, a good example is if the overall leader comes out, or the overall leader is right behind you, and the caution comes out, it'll say, probably is not going to say pass the pace car, it'll say catch this car. You'll pass the pace car right away, just because the iRacing is going to pick up the overall leader no matter what. But once you pass and pick up the pacing field, at that point you should never cross or pass the pace car, regardless of what iRacing is telling you to do.
Cool.
Yes.
Sorry, I had that kind of question. We've noticed in the past there's been a few problems caused by some cars leaving gaps whilst pacing. Is there anything you want to say about leaving gaps and causing kind of like pile-ups at certain corners when we're pacing?
Don't be stupid.
Okay. So no flat-out rules, but basically don't leave any gaps.
I mean, if you leave gaps, you leave gaps. I mean, I know some people do it for safety. You know, I know there's stuff going on. Just pay attention. You know, it's very easy for cording effects to happen. I'd say the biggest areas to watch out for on this track, based on our experience, is the two chicanes. Usually that's where people kind of get backed up and the accordion effect starts. You know, if you're not going more than pace car speed, you really shouldn't have any issues with it. Just be smart. Anticipate an accordion effect that's going to happen, and you know, just make sure you're leaving yourself room, and just look at the car in front of you and make sure you're just being safe. If there's a big gap and you're all of a sudden catching up, there's no reason for you to speed up to 100 miles an hour or 250 or whatever it is in kph just to try to catch that gap. You know, the green flag isn't going to come anytime soon, so there's no need. Just be smart. That's all we're asking.
What about on the like actual restarts? I know in the driver's briefing for the start of the race, you wanted like a 4 to 6 second gap. Does the same apply for restarts?
Restarts as close as you want. There's no gaps needed for anything. It's just one big single file line. No reason to leave gaps anywhere on restarts.
Have a question in terms of pit lane open and closed and stuff. The announcement, it'll be done via iRacing voice, yes?
Yes, it'll be an iRacing voice.
Cool, thanks.
All right, so we'll kind of get going. We got a couple more minutes here. The what was I getting? Talk to pit exit. Make sure you use the lane on the left. We use the lane on the left because the lane on the right could be blocked by cars interior and people won't see it till the last minute. It was too late. So use the pit lane exit on the left. Incident limit for this race. First penalty is going to be at 34. Incident limit, just so you guys know, for every race is roughly calculated to have about an 80 CPI. That's about where it is. Just so we're black and white and see how it's clear. That's about 80 CPI is what we're looking at. So 34, based on our estimates, will get you right around 80 CPI. So at 34, you'll get a stop and go. At 45 is a 60-second stop and hold. And then every 5 incidents after that is a 1-lap stop and hold. The off-tracks and track boundaries are defined by iRacing off-track system. But remember, in turn 10, if you go over the white line on the exit, that's perfectly fine to do so. However, cars that are inside the white line have priority to use the surface. Is there any last-minute questions?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, whoever that was.
Real quick, just so you guys know, qualifying is going to start in 2 minutes, so we will jump.
I was just going to very quickly verify, if I crash at T1, I've got to limp the car around to the tow zone before going into the waiting room to tell you I need one. Is that correct?
Or you tell us you need one if you can't get it there, and then we just throw caution, and then you can tow whenever.
Gotcha. Thank you.
The one question I just want to verify real quick, the acceleration zone?
Yes.
Where exactly is it? Just want to have that clear.
Acceleration zone is the exact same place as the race start, which is on pit entry, where pit entry lane peels off from the regular racetrack and the grass starts between the racetrack and pit exit or pit entry lane. That's where it is. So when you go around, you'll see just right when the 2 peels off, there'll be grass that splits the 2 right where that grass starts on the driver's right. That's where you can start accelerating.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Kyle?
Yes.
My driver, Elvis, cannot see here in Discord our team channel. Is that possible?
Who is your driver's name?
Elvis.
Elvis. Let's get the king his priorities. What's the team that he needs?
Number 311, Fach Autotech.
All right, you're all set.
Thank you.
All right. So, guys, once we're done here, we'll kind of get started. Once again, P1 will be starting qualifying. Thanks again. Drive safe. I'm looking forward to a really good season, and we'll kind of get started. So, thanks again, guys. I'm looking forward to it. Have a safe race, and best of luck to everybody.
One more quick question for you, Kyle. Our team has 2 cars entered. Is it all right if we stay in our general chat for our team so we can talk between the cars, or do you want us in our each car in their own channel?
We gave whatever you guys want to do. So, you have a general chat. If you want to talk both cars, you can use individual cars. We just gave you all the options. So whatever you want to do, go for it.
Okay, sounds good. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
You too.
Thanks. Yeah, you too.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Otherwise, it starts changing tyres.
Good luck,
or...
Jim.
Cheers, Drew. And you, mate. Yeah, or it's going to start changing tyres and putting fuel in. It's a pit stop, isn't it?
No, you.
P1 qualifying now begins for 15 minutes.